Hi friends, Saira Map. இது ஒரு green social media. இது Facebook மாதிரி ஒரு social media platform. இதுல pictures, videos and voice chat roomலாம் இருக்கு. இதுல account open பண்ணி verify வாங்குற ஒவ்வொரு users பேர்லயும் ஒரு மரக்கன்று நடப்படும். இத sign up பண்ணி account open பண்ணும்போது verification email வரும். அதை verification பண்ணா மட்டும்தான் account open ஆகும். நீங்க என்ன user name கொடுக்குறீங்களோ அதை கொடுத்து தான் login பண்ணணும். email address போடக்கூடாது. account open பண்ணி cover photo, profile picture எல்லாம் வச்சு ரெகுலரா ஆக்டிவேட்டா இருந்தா மட்டும்தான் அது verified accountல எடுத்துக்கொள்ளப்படும். அதர் ஆப்ஸ்ல அப்லோட் பண்ணாத watermark இல்லாத own content video போட்டு verify வாங்குற users-க்கு gift உண்டு. அது என்ன gift அப்படிங்கறத அந்த ஆப்ல மெசேஜ் வரும். சாயரா மேப் லிங்க் டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷன்ல இருக்கு, டவுன்லோட் பண்ணிக்கங்க. சாயரா மேப் iOS and Google Play Storeலயும் இருக்கு, டவுன்லோட் பண்ணிக்கங்க.
பூசை பூசை என்று நிற்பூசை செய்யும் பேதைகள். O ignorant ones, performing worship after worship regularly. பூசையுண்ண தன்னிலே பூசை கொண்டது எவ்விடம். The real worship is to make the soul stable, without motion within us. ஆதி பூசை கொண்டதோ அநாதி பூசை கொண்டதோ. Did the origin accept your worship, or the one without a beginning and end? எது பூசை கொண்டதோ இன்னதென்று இயம்புமே. Please tell us which one accepted the worship. The devotees are performing worship regularly without knowing who's accepting their worship and prayers. Worship in Tamil is pusai. Pu refers to soul and sai refers to the motionless state. One must perform this within themselves by constantly thinking about soul, which is like a flower. In Tamil, Pu means flower, and taking it to the motionless state. This is possible only in Raja Yoga and not in outside ritualistic worship. Only the worship through Raja Yoga will be accepted by the origin. In Tamil, Adi refers to the origin, called Shakti, which is Vindu, and the one without a beginning and end. In Tamil, Anadi refers to the one without a beginning and end, called Shivam, the effulgent divine light. Does worship come out from human fear? Only our mind knows all our atrocious activities like backstabbing, robbing things from someone, adultery, and chasing out siblings and parents into the street without care. Only the feeling of guiltiness which forces many of us to do good deeds, performing charity and conducting ritualistic prayers to the deity in the temple to pacify the mind to come out of the fear of wrongdoings. Do you know that all the good and bad deeds performed by you are recorded as a thought in a siddham, which is the top layer of andhakaranam, and acts as a seed and karma for your next birth? You were not afraid of doing bad deeds. Why should you be scared to face the repercussions of those acts? The courage and confidence with which you had carried out those sinful acts are missing. And why should you lament now? You had carried out these bad deeds by the power and dictates of your mind, and you are suffering now because of the weakness of your mind. When are you going to understand this? Why do you go to temples? Nowadays, the Tirupati Tirumalai hills is bursting at its seams by the multitude of thronging devotees. The place of head tonsure is jam-packed by the devotees, where they offer their hair of their head to the Lord of Tirumalai hills to fulfill their vows. On some festival days, the devotees wait for days and stand in kilometers of queue for many hours for a few second glimpse of the Lord. Devotees pour money in bundles after bundles and jewels into the temple donation box. When a suffering human being begs for a meal, these rich devotees just walk past the beggar as if they have not heard it. By what confidence the same rich devotees pour money into the temple donation box? Do you think that by offering donations into the temple donation box will clear the effects of your bad deeds? Will carrying Kavadi to Lord Murugan at Parani Hills vaporize the effects of your bad deeds? Does performing pilgrimages to Kasi and taking holy dip in the holy river Ganga and Rameshwaram to take holy dips in the numerous holy ponds eradicate the effects of your bad deeds? No, it will not. Your current suffering are the effect of your deeds of the previous births. Kavadi. A typical Kavadi is a small wooden structure with an arch covered with a piece of cloth and is held on shoulders. The two sides of the Kavadi are covered with feathers of peacock, the vehicle of Lord Muruga. The sides also contain 2 bags to carry offerings to the Lord. Who can call themselves a spiritualist? First stage. As long as you blame your family, relatives, friends and the environment for all your pleasures and sufferings, then you're not qualified to be called as a spiritualist. Second stage. All pleasures and sufferings experienced by me are the result of my own deeds. Once you start thinking and blaming yourself for all your sufferings, and these are due to the effect of bad deeds committed by you in the past, this is the point of blossoming of spirituality within yourself and prompting you to begin your journey in the path of spirituality to realize God. Third stage. When you're not blaming others for the suffering experienced by you, the environment, the God, then the thirst for wisdom starts to drive you. Now we can say that you're qualified to become a spiritualist. Based on the above 3 stages, one can identify themselves, their own stage, and determine the extent of spirituality in them. Chapter 4. Hunger for Wisdom. Hunger is very important for an individual human being because only the hunger keeps body alive. For a human being to perform daily routines and other activities, energy is very essential. That energy is derived from the food consumed by human beings. To retain the life within a body, food is essential. Hunger is a necessary factor which makes us to consume food, which is required for a human body. The physical hunger is satisfied the moment when food is consumed. After satisfying the stomach's hunger, every human being has a hunger for pleasure, irrespective of the gender differentiation from men and women. This is also said to be a type of hunger which is attained with physical interaction between both the genders. Apart from the above mentioned, there is another hunger which paves the path to attain self-knowledge, the hunger for wisdom, self-knowledge. Once the hunger for wisdom is ignited in a human, we don't know when and which birth it will be satisfied. It is a fact that every human being has the hunger for stomach. However, the hunger for attaining self-knowledge will develop in one among a million. Anyone who has the thirst to attain self-knowledge will not be satisfied until the question arises with them gets the satisfactory answers, because their mind will constantly prompt for questions till they find the right answer. This is not a regular search for answers, and the answers will not be found in general. The mind will be satisfied only after receiving the right answer. However, the questions raising within self and finding answers to it alone will not be termed as attainment of self-knowledge. The questions and answers to it is a start of every individual who has a thirst to start the journey towards attaining self-consciousness. A question, who am I, made Ramana Mahasaint to attain self-consciousness. A question which arose in Swami Vivekananda to his Guru Ramakrishna Paramahamsar as, have you seen God? However, people nowadays wrongly identify themselves as they have thirst for self-knowledge by observing a repetitive question which arises within themselves. They wander around with such questions and call themselves as spiritualists or telling they are searching the ultimate source, God. These people approach few ashram or a guru and get satisfied with the answers and feel that the questions for spiritual journey is suppressed as like a thirsty person is satisfied with a cup of water. These people discuss with others about the understandings which are obtained after reading the scriptures or from their hearsay and by the philosophical understanding about the religion and assume that they are satisfied with the explanations which are heard or read. Their mind is pacified with the answers received. This is not considered as a real hunger or thirst for wisdom. The following incident happened in our locality. There were 2 friends who came out from the temple after worshipping. There was a shop opposite to the temple. The shop owner asked the friends, who are the father and mother for Lord Murugan and Lord Vinayaka? The friends replied that father is Lord Shiva and the mother is Goddess Parvati. For this, the shop owner again asked, who are the father and mother for Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati? The friends were left dumbfounded. The friends requested our Guru for the answer. They were satisfied with the answer received from our Guru. Their hunger for wisdom had not progressed further. They have not asked further questions to the Guru. However, only very few continue their search for a long time till their search reaches its fulfillment. The hunger for wisdom of Buddha, Ramana, and Vivekananda are the real examples for the hunger for wisdom. People who are pursuing the hunger for wisdom must ensure that their attention is not diverted onto other issues. This wisdom is also a type of hunger. It is the hunger for knowledge. It will not be satisfied with anything else. The person with such a hunger for knowledge should not become complacent with the answers received and must continuously pursue it. At the end, definitely one will achieve everything which he has been searching for. In the current age of fast world, the search is there with everyone. However, the truth is that the importance of these searches to fulfill their daily life. People are struggling to live in this world and fighting to protect their life. This struggle is there for every living being in this world, including human beings, to search for their food and shelter. Once the basic requirements of food and shelter are satisfied, then they all search for a life partner at the appropriate age. After finding the partner, their search begins for procreation of their generation. The person with a hunger for knowledge will not rest till the hunger subsides. This hunger will aggravate day by day like a fire. For example, a person can wage a battle against an opponent. But how a human can fight a battle within himself? What will be the situation of a person who had started such a battle within himself? One who starts introspection, and then he will encounter many thought patterns. One who started to research on himself, he will get multitude of thought patterns within. Finally, the end result is, he will get himself confused. One who started to analyze about him, the end may result into, the person will not eat on time. He will not be able to sleep on time. And he may always look at the space with a vacant look. By watching him, his parents took him to a psychiatric doctor. The doctor started asking questions. What is your problem? Immediately he asked the doctor, who are you? He questioned the doctor by asking that you tell me, who are you? And then I will explain to you about my problem. The doctor gently replied, answering to the question that, I am a doctor. He again questioned, stating that, doctor is your profession. I did not ask you about your profession. Please tell me, who are you? For this doctor told that I am the son of Dr. Mohan. I didn't ask you about your father. Finally, the doctor told that I am a human being. For this, the person looked at the doctor with a vacant look. Do you know what human being is? In Tamil language, manam, mind, resides in Manidan, which is human. Manam, mind, plus Esan equals Manushan, human. Person with mind is called human. Person with riches is called a rich man. In Tamil language, Panam Ullavan, Panakaran. The person with capital is a capitalist. In Tamil language, Mudal Ullavan, Mudalali. I did not ask you what you have. My question is, who are you? While sleeping, there is no activity for your mind. Who are you at that time? Now the doctor is confused. The question looks very simple. However, I am unable to understand it. The person told the doctor that he is also in the same confused state. It is the biggest confusion of all. One doesn't know who he is. One with hunger for knowledge must first understand who is he. There is no trouble for those who understood self. This idea is emphasized by Siddhar Tirumular in the following stanza. Tannai ariya tanakkoru kedillai. Knowing self, there is no suffering to the self. Tannai ariyamal thane kedugiran. Without knowing self, suffering himself. Tannai ariyum arivai arinda pin. After knowing the knowledge to know the self, Tannaiye archikka thanirundane. To worship him, he was there. Hunger for knowledge starts from understanding the self. The same thing is emphasized by Siddhar Tirumular. There is no trouble or difficulty for a person who understands himself. However, human beings without taking any effort to know themselves and not understanding the self, they are spoiled. The knowledge to understand oneself is within them. Human mind prevents humans to understand this. When human beings develop the knowledge to understand themselves, then they don't need to search for anything outside. Everything is inside, and they glorify themselves and attain bliss and love. The above stanza is important because human beings consider themselves as this physical body. Sometimes we consider ourselves as the mind. Somebody says, yesterday I had fever. In this case, that person is considering himself as the body. Another person said that his friend had spoken ill about him and his mind is upset. In this case, this person considers himself as the mind. Here, the mind is suffering and not the body. Whenever we say that this shirt is mine, we differentiate between ourselves and the shirt. We and the shirt are different objects. In the same way, our body is different from our life, which is the truth. If someone questions you, which is your house, the next minute you will point out the house and say, this is my house. However, if you are of the same person as the doctor, then who are you? What is the body? What is life? It is very difficult to separate your life from the body and show your life to someone as, this is my life. Pattinathar emphasized the same point in the following stanza. Satragilum tannai thanariyai tannai aindavarai. Just self not knowing the self till the analysis of the self. Utragilum uraikka porundai unakkana nilai. Just focused talk is to match your state. Patrai guruvai paniyai parathayar palil sendriyen. Get attached, bow to the guru. Going behind the ladies selling their pleasure. Petrai mada nenjame unnai polillai pittanume. What did you get, O my foolish mind? There is no one like you, madman. One who has a thirst for self-knowledge must understand himself first. By doing so, oneself can remove the ignorance about who am I. Eliminating ignorance is the first step to proceed with the spiritual journey. Siddhar Pattinathar emphasized the same in his stanza. The meaning of the stanza. At least one must know about themselves, that is, who am I? Why the birth has taken place? What has to be achieved in this birth? Why should I take birth in this world? What is the reason for it? Is it because of my parents? Or I chose to take birth by myself? Is it the act of God? You should not spend time only in introspecting the questions. You should reach out to sages who got rid of the worldly attachments and listen to their instructions and continue to do your own research by internalizing the instructions. You're not trying to reach the Guru and offer your obedience to him. The revered Guru is instructing to his disciples on the path of self-knowledge and giving them explanations to clear their doubts. But you're running behind the immoral things and spending your time with the opposite gender by falling prey with the love shown in their eyes and lust in the speech. What kind of pleasure you get in making love with a bodily pleasure which lasts only for few minutes? Oh, a mind without even an iota of knowledge, there is no foolish or madman like you in this world. What a thought-provoking and a deep meaning composition. In the modern age, from young adults to old men are in a mad search for the momentary pleasure. What are they going to achieve at the end? They end with disease and ridicules of the society. If the mind begins to start or think on the real search, then one can control their mind from wandering, even for few minutes. Entire thought and the process will be stuck to the question, what is this? Why suddenly there is an urge for search which is growing within me? The mind will continuously question itself. Such mind will not calm down until it finds the right person, location, explanation, and instructions which will pacify the searching mind. We can take this as a hunger for knowledge. For the young boy Venkatraman, born in the remote village Tiruchuri, the moment he heard the word Tiruvannamalai, he had forgotten his dead father, mother, siblings and started thinking only about reaching Tiruvannamalai. It is the real hunger for knowledge. He had left all his boyhood plays, not eating and not sleeping. The one word Tiruvannamalai had erased all other memories. This hunger for knowledge in that boy has come to an end only after reaching Tiruvannamalai and worshipped the temple deities, Annamalayar and Unnamulayamman. Once the hunger for knowledge subsided immediately, the next search started in him, that is, who am I? Again, the same Tiruvannamalai had solved the question and the hunger for search also got satisfied. The boy decided and took a vow to stay in Tiruvannamalai till his end and became the world-famous sage Ramana Mahasaint. No one can tell how the hunger for knowledge will start. Maybe through someone, through something. In the ancient port city of Kaveri Pumbattinam, there lived a billionaire diamond merchant named Thiruvenkadar, with all the luxuries, whose wealth is equal to king and the king of Devas called Indran. The Lord Shiva came to him as his son Marudavanan and delivered him the following immortal words in a note. The broken needle cannot come to end. In Tamil, Kadatra Usiyum Varadu, Kadai Teruvakan. These few words ignited the search for self-knowledge, and he immediately walked out of his palatial home with a linen cloth and started his spiritual journey and started begging for his food. He is the world-famous billionaire turned into a sage Pattinattar. The hunger to attain self-knowledge turned a billionaire to a sage. Unable to tolerate the difficulties faced by his family, a young graduate named Narendran started questioning everybody. Is there a God or not? This search for God and the search answer for his question made this young Narendra into a world-known Swami Vivekananda. Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsar was the key for his transition. There is an urge for search in every human being. However, the world which is interested in material development has kept aside the search for knowledge. The main reason is the selfish attachment towards a family, money, name and fame, which they think it must belong to them alone. The selfish attachment makes the son, husband or father to go abroad, work hard and send money only for their welfare. As long as there are relatives who are unable to tolerate and lament that their son, husband or father are wearing a saffron robe and living near them, people are afraid of exposing their hunger for knowledge and continue their worldly search. There are many obstacles which prevent every human being born in this world to rise towards the pinnacle of subconsciousness. Even to start and research on oneself, one must crush all these obstacles to reach the fulfillment. Otherwise, it is difficult to continue the research. The hunger for knowledge is present in everyone, like a smoldering fire covered by ash. It will never expose by itself. A small thought which creates the thirst for attaining knowledge will ignite and bring out the intent to the existence. We call this spark as the hunger for knowledge. It is hidden in everyone. Without knowing this, many of us pray to God for wealth, good wife, children, and luxurious life. God created all these using the illusory power and kept all of us submerged into it. When you detach yourself from these worldly illusions, the journey for self-knowledge germinates. The same point is emphasized by Siddhar Sivavakiyar in the following stanza. ஆடு காட்டி வேங்கையை அகப்படுத்துமாறு போல், like trapping a tiger using a goat as bait. மாடு காட்டி என்னை நீ மதிமயக்கலாகுமோ? Is it fair for you to enthrall me, showing riches? கோடு காட்டி யானையை கொன்றுரித்த கொற்றவா, O Lord who killed and skinned the elephant demon, வீடு காட்டி என்னை நீ வெளிப்படுத்த வேணுமே. Show me the path to freedom and liberate me. In this verse, Sivavakiyar says, people trap leopards using a goat tied to a tree as bait. Similarly, you are showing me all these riches and enthralling me in this pointless world. All these riches are just illusory. O Lord, you broke the tusks of the elephant demon Gajasura, and skinned him. Show me too the path to moksha, emancipation, and deliver me from this illusory world. In the process of hunting animals from the forest, a metal cage is used by the hunters, in which a goat or a sheep is tied into the cage to attract the wild animals to come near the trap. Because of the shouting of the goat inside the cage and the smell a cheetah or a tiger will reach to the cage with an intention to hunt the goat and fill its hunger. The cheetah will be attracted by the smell of the goat and its bleating noise. In the same way, we, after taking the human birth, we are attracted to the worldly wealth and affection, pleasure, name and fame. Siddhar emphasizes that as the goat inside the cage is kept as a trap to hunt the wild animals, in the same way, all the worldly activities are attracting the human beings, by which the mankind is falling prey to the attractions and getting stuck into the cage called life, birth, death. Hence, Siddhar Sivavakiyar is pleading God to help him not to distract him by making to fall into the worldly pleasures and not to distract him from the journey of reaching home of God realization. Also, the Siddhar highlights the miracles of Lord Shiva, that you are the destroyer of ego and ignorance. The self-ego is compared with the elephant by Siddhar. O Lord, you killed the elephant called ego in many in the past, skinned the elephant and used the skin as your ornament garment. O mighty Lord, you are the owner of the final destination of every living being and the giver of liberation called liberation from birth and death cycle. It is you who can help me not to distract me from the real destination by showing me the pleasures of the illusionary world, and I pray to you to remove the distractions from the path in attaining oneness, O Supreme Lord, and reveal it to me. Who am I? We must think deep about the song above here. Siddhar Sivavakiyar is not requesting God to give him liberation and union with God. Also, he is not requesting God to appear before him for a divine vision. He clearly is expressing that he wants to know himself and he wants God to reveal it to him. He is at the height of his internal thirst for acquiring knowledge and seeking the blessings of God, even for knowing himself. It is understood that we need the mercy of God even to start researching on ourselves. For this, our effort is also very important. Our efforts to be accompanied by the mercy of Almighty. By then, we will travel into the journey of liberating oneself from the illusionary cycle of birth and death. Every one of us think that, what is there to research about me? Don't I know about myself? Do I have to be told about me by someone else? I know about everything in this world. With the help of internet, I will know about things happening around the world. What is there beyond it? People boast themselves with ego that no one can reach their level of knowledge. It is not ego. Self-realized sages call it as ignorance of human beings. The story of the frog inside the well is the right example for this. Once, a female frog was crawling near a well. On sensing the outer barrier of the well, it wanted to cross it. With full vigor, it jumped from one side to reach the opposite side. However, it failed to cross it and fell into the well. It tried with all its efforts to come out of it, and every attempt attempted failed. The well was very deep with water throughout the year. There was no other way, and it had to spend a lifetime in the well. The frog lived there for some time and laid many eggs and died. Those eggs hatched into tadpoles and grown up as frogs. Out of these bunch of frogs, one was very strong while compared to the others. Quite often, it will look at the sky and think something. It felt that the well is a big pond and the blue sky over the top is like a cover. It used to think that, what will be there beyond the sky? Whenever it rains, the frog will think that there are holes in the sky cover and the water is coming from another well up there. Other frogs, by seeing this frog's activities, and kept quiet. The strong frog had an ego, thinking that the other frogs are not knowledgeable like it. One day, a frog from the nearby sea came jumping from long way. Due to the long travel, the frog was tired. It wanted to take rest aside the rim of the well. It jumped on the rim and sat there. The strong frog inside the well noticed the movement at the rim of the well and looked at the sea frog sitting at the rim of the well and asked in a thundering tone, "Who are you?" The sea frog was shocked to hear the booming voice from the well and looked into the well and noticed the strong well frog floating in the well water. Sea frog told the well frog that I am also a frog like you. Well frog was very happy to hear this. Well frog assumed that this frog might have come from the top of the blue sky cover. Well frog asked the sea frog, "Have you come from another world?" Sea frog was surprised and asked, "What next world?" The sea frog understood that this well frog is lacking behind from knowledge about the world. The sea frog clearly understood the truth that this is a well frog and its entire world seems to be as the well. The sea frog replied to the well frog that there is no other world. Nobody comes from another world. I am on the top of the well and you are in a deep well. I am also from this world only. Then the well frog asked the sea frog, "Where are you coming from?" The sea frog replied, "I am coming from the sea." The well frog asked again, "What is sea?" The sea frog replied, "It is also like this with a lot of water." On hearing this, the well frog thought very deeply and asked the sea frog by spreading its two front legs, "Is this the breadth of your sea?" By hearing this, the sea frog was unable to control its laughter and told the well frog, "Sea is much bigger than that, and it is big." Now the well frog spread all its four legs and queried the sea frog, "Is it this big?" The sea frog replied, No, it is very long and very broad. You cannot compare the sea with the well." By knowing this, the well frog got angry and showed its hand around the well and shouted, "Is it the size of this well?" The sea frog replied patiently, "The sea is 1,000,000 times larger than this well." The well frog got so angry and shouted at the sea frog, telling it is a lie. There cannot be anything bigger than this in this world. The sea frog listened to the well frog for some time patiently and then started moving away from the well. The well frog shouted, "Why are you keeping quiet? You have lost to me and you are unable to answer my question," ridiculed the sea frog. The sea frog felt pity on the well frog and replied, "Brother, whatever explanation given by me and the examples, you will not be able to understand the depth, length and breadth of the sea. If you have to understand about sea, then you must come out of your thinking that this well is the whole world. You must come out of this well, then only you will be able to understand that there is another world beyond your world. You will understand the greatness of the sea by yourself. However, there is no chance for you to get out of this well." After saying this, the sea frog went away. Whatever the sea frog had told the well frog is true. From time of its birth, the well frog had known only about this well. It never had a chance to know about the world outside its well. Then there is no chance to come out of this well. The well frog cannot even imagine about the different world beyond the well. In such a situation, there is no use arguing about the greatness of the sea to it. Today our situations are same like this well frog. The well frog from its birth had known only about this well. It does not know about anything else. Similarly, we are also conditioned by the day-to-day events of our life, relatives and friends' life. We are unable to understand the facts and think these events and happenings in life are the big, hard and most difficult in life. In today's environment, our life has circled us in a small circle like education, employment, marriage, children, etc. We have no other thought process in mind and continue our life within this small circle and focus our life to earn for the family, future of children. Our vision for life is narrowed. We are not worried about the world, why this human life is given to us, and what will happen after death. Without thinking about these, most of us had come to the conclusion that the pleasures derived from the modern scientific advancements are the highest pleasures of enjoyment. Other than this, many people had come to the conclusion that spending their time by playing with children, watching TV channels, eating tasty food and sleeping is life. They had built a mechanical routine which will revolve within a small circle. The human life which had become mechanical is similar to the well and the well frog which fixed itself as comfortable in it. They don't have a chance to come out of the well and they lost the hunger for search and the curiosity to continue the search. Search has taken a different meaning recently. Searching for a suitable game to play at a young age, searching for the suitable higher education during adulthood, searching for a spouse at the age of marriage, searching for employment to maintain the family, searching for children to enjoy the wealth accumulated by the employment. searching for spouse for the children, and then searching for grandchildren, and so on, without any end to the normal way of human life. People from all sections of the society are not clear about self and self-knowledge. They have not attained it either. If we conduct a research, then we find from our experience that most of the people are in the category of the ignorant well frog. There is a proverb among the villagers. Whenever you ask someone about their well-being, they utter the following philosophical lines: eating the boiled food and waiting for the fate to go. These category of people search for something, eat whatever is available, and lead a life without any purpose, blabbering at the end, all these relatives are there only for my properties. After sharing the properties with their children continuously, lament that there is no one respecting me now. They realize all these were there as long as they had their properties. Nowadays, no one is bothered about me and continuously lament till the end of their life and disappear. Search must be something in real, with a purpose. We don't think that we must do our own search. Sometimes in this world, a Buddha, Ramana and Valalar appear. All of them had a search within themselves.